Hi and welcome everyone, this is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. Today I'd like to expand on a topic that I talked about a couple live streams ago. It's called the new economy. And you guys know me, I like history, so I'm going to be using history as a way to draw a correlation between what happened back then and what is happening now. In June of 1935, Congress passed House Joint Resolution 192. This piece of legislation changed the monetary system, which would have direct effects on the economy and how money would be created moving forward. Until June of 35, we as Americans operated under the gold standard. However, due to a population boom and the fact that there was not enough gold and silver in circulation to be able to facilitate the necessary commerce, we had to make a change in our monetary system. The problem with gold and silver is that there's only a finite amount of resources that can be dug out of the ground. At least that's what they keep telling us. Changing the monetary standards from gold and silver to legal tender would open up the economy to be what it is that we see today. Unfortunately, we as humans, we do not like change. So we've had a hard time transitioning to this new economic reality. The game Monopoly was created as a way to teach the average American how to use the new money system. The game Monopoly was designed and created to teach the average American that money is liquid. Legal tender was designed to be leveraged against assets to create more money until you reached a point where you could not spend enough money, therefore creating a saving. Unfortunately, the average American could not wrap their mind around this new idea and has thus unintentionally been destructive to the overall monetary system, creating the wealth disparity that we see today. Until this change happened, Americans lived life on a farm and had a minimal need for currency because food and resources were produced locally. Transition from the farm into cities and suburbs was a direct result of the Industrial Revolution that started in the 1850s. The factories needed workers, which caused people to move into cities, spawning a technological boom to meet the needs of the growing city. During the 1930s, technology was becoming more convenient for the average person to obtain. This technological boom caused a change in the workforce to sell, maintain, and service the new technology being brought to the average Joe. As a cause and effect, this required the average worker to improve and change their skills for the changing workforce, including acquiring further education to be trained in this new technology. As a direct result of the emerging technology with the implementation of the new monetary system, those who were wise enough to be able to take advantage of the new opportunities, the 1940s until now, the percentage of Americans that have become middle class, upper middle class, and wealthy has grown much more than we would have under the gold and silver standard, because legal tender and a technological boom opened up a plethora of opportunities like we've never seen before. The average person would see this change as bad because, again, we don't like change, and they either didn't want to change or they failed to see the new opportunities under this new system. And that has kind of caused certain parts of this country to kind of be what some might call backwards. As all systems do, though, they do become outdated and need to be re-envisioned to meet the needs of the changing society that we live in. So what is the new economy? Now that we have an understanding of history and how this part of the natural evolution of an economy works, let's talk about the changes and opportunities that we're transitioning into now. Although we have our opinions on the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab, Klaus Schwab was correct when he said we're in the middle of a fourth industrial revolution. As you have heard me touch on in previous videos, like what is UBI, let's talk about this more in depth here. So currently we're advancing at a fast pace in advanced robotics, circuitry, and artificial intelligence. Over the past 10 years, we've been able to create a technology that has made life easier to the point the idea of waiting for something to happen seems foreign. We've become a society of instant gratification. Look at the smartphone. It used to be that you had to have a lot of money to acquire this technology. Now it's as common as a TV in every room or every household owning a car. With the smartphone alone, you are able to put a computer in your pocket and access information on the go, communicate using multiple mediums, such as either the phone or the email, and produce high quality media such as photos and videos. I mean, I'm on an iPhone right now recording. Artificial intelligence has taken away our need to do menial tasks such as home cleaning. So like think about the Roomba, customer service, and improved computing. If you know now, they have chatbots. So I've recently installed an update package for my graphics card, and this new package actually uses artificial intelligence so that it improves my playability of not only media but producing media and the games in which I play. Like all technology, it can be used for both good and bad. But we're going to talk about the good here because, we could get off on a tangent about the bad because everything is a double-edged sword. It is a duality of the world. So lastly, with circuitry, we have made Moore's Law irrelevant. So for those of you that don't know what Moore's Law is, was the fact that you could take transistors and it would just double and double and double. Now we figured out how to be able to stack those transistors on top of each other. Since I left the IT industry 10 years ago, a processor can now have multiple cores within a single chip. Since I've left the IT industry, we found out how to virtualize storage and be able to put multiple servers on the same disk drive. Disk drives are now so complicated that it's no longer a disk. It's just, it looks like memory. If you really want to know what it looks like, it looks like what RAM looks like now. As you can see, technology has improved dramatically over the last few years and will continue to double as what some may consider an alarming rate. This new technology requires new skills, further education, and a more intelligent human being. Just like in the 1940s with refrigeration and televisions, this created new opportunities, and so will this new economy. Positive things that we have to look forward to as a society, if we choose to step up to the challenge, will be better for our children than if we had to prepare them properly for the old way worked. Go off and get a good job doing hard labor, right? You now have the opportunity to guide your children as they grow up to be prepared to take advantage of these new opportunities because you, as the parent, are now aware enough to be able to guide them to help them create a better future for them than what you had for yourself. The new economy will be focused less on working menial jobs that destroy our body and give us a poor quality of life, especially in retirement, and we'll begin to focus more on the quality of life with improved skills and education. Unfortunately, there will be a painful transition period. Unlike the Industrial Revolution that needed large pools of human labor, that is diminishing to focus more on smaller pools of highly skilled labor. As we transition and the population dwindles, especially with the largest segment of our workforce aging out, that's the baby boomers, the ability to work limited hours and focus on quality of life will be the future of our workforce. So you might be asking me, well, you keep talking about this, but how do I solve this? How do I take advantage of this? And so, as with all topics on this channel, after I educate you, I like to offer potential solutions for my audience. And thank you for watching. So some ideas that will help you out in positioning yourself for the new economy is first, consider your options to further educate yourself in technology. Considering our world has become so dependent on technology, the demand to administer and maintain the technology will be extremely important for the future workforce. Secondly, consider your ability to be mobile. Areas become popular with migration. It increases the cost of living due to the demand on the city infrastructure. And then, having the ability to move around to less populated areas, such as maybe like the Rust Belt or the Midwest, will allow you to maximize your income to have a higher quality of life with having a low cost of living than it would be being static in your area for your whole life. That type of lifestyle that our parents and grandparents were living in, that's not gonna be the future. Migrating to areas with a lower cost of living is gonna be really where you as an individual are able to maximize your income, because the great thing about most of this new technology, especially if you have a laptop, is that you are able to log in remotely. So that means you can be anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. Lastly, your ability to network with other like-minded individuals and collaborate is important. Although America is based on the individualistic mentality, this is something that we need to change. Just because you're an individual doesn't mean you're not going to work with other people. So I've learned that in the IT field, networking with other IT professionals was important, not only because they could help you find new jobs, but because you might have something that's outside of your scope of knowledge and you need to collaborate with people. So if you are a Gen Xer or a millennial, then something like this, going to your parents and your grandparents, the baby boomers, that's what they're known for, is networking. They would sit in coffee shops, and that's how they would network and be able to find the jobs that they found and to find the opportunities that they found, because they mastered the art of networking. So I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope that you understand the new economy and how to be prepared and position yourself and your children, because it's not just about you. Your children are important too, if you for the future. And if you have any questions, or you really like this topic, if you have questions, leave them down in the comments. If you really like this topic, I'm going to be expanding on this more on my Patreon channel, which you can come over and subscribe to. I've got the Hobo tutorials, I've got constitutional history, and then the behind the scenes. It's just an added bonus there if you subscribe to one of those two tiers. So if you'd like to get more in depth about these topics, like I said, leave a comment or come over to Patreon. And until next time, thank you for watching, and I'm the Hobo Prepper.